The Bible is replete with accounts of miraculous events, from the parting of the Red Sea to the resurrection of Jesus Christ. These miracles have been the subject of much debate, particularly in the context of modern scientific understanding. Are these events fact or fiction? To explore this, we must delve into the nature of miracles, the purpose they serve in the biblical narrative, and their plausibility within the framework of faith and reason. Understanding miracles in the biblical context. In the biblical sense, miracles are extraordinary events that transcend natural laws, serving as signs of God's power and presence. They are not merely anomalies or inexplicable phenomena, but intentional acts of divine intervention. The purpose of miracles in the Bible is twofold: to demonstrate God's sovereignty and to confirm His messengers. For instance, the parting of the Red Sea, Exodus 14 verse 21 to 31, served to deliver the Israelites from Egyptian bondage and to show Yahweh's supremacy over nature and pagan gods. Similarly, the miracles performed by Jesus, such as turning water into wine, John 2 verse 1 to 11, and raising Lazarus from the dead, John 11 verse 1 to 44, were not just displays of power but also revelations of His divine identity and authority. Miracles and faith plays a crucial role in how one perceives biblical miracles. For believers, miracles are historical events that affirm their faith. The author of Hebrews wrote, "Now faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see." Hebrews 11 verse 1. This assurance extends to the acceptance of miracles as acts of God. However, skepticism arises when these events are evaluated solely through the lens of empirical science. The modern worldview, influenced heavily by the Enlightenment and scientific rationalism, often dismisses miracles as myth or allegory. This skepticism is rooted in the belief that the natural world operates according to fixed laws, and any deviation from these laws must be scrutinized. Examining biblical miracles. Let's consider some of the most notable biblical miracles and their implications. The creation of the world. The Bible begins with the grand miracle of creation, where God speaks the universe into existence. Genesis 1. This account is often seen as a direct contradiction to the scientific theory of evolution. However, many theologians and scientists argue for a harmonious understanding, viewing the Genesis creation narrative as a theological text rather than a scientific one. The focus is on the who and why of creation rather than the how. The resurrection of Jesus. The resurrection of Jesus is central to Christian faith. Paul emphasizes its importance in 1 Corinthians 15 verse 17, stating, "And if Christ has not been raised, your faith is futile. You are still in your sins." Historically, the resurrection is supported by various sources and accounts, including the transformation of the apostles from a state of fear to bold proclamation, willing to die for their testimony. This change is difficult to explain without the resurrection being a real event. The miracles of healing. Jesus' healing miracles, such as restoring sight to the blind and curing lepers, serve as metaphors for spiritual restoration and the coming of God's kingdom. These acts were witnessed by many, including skeptics, which adds to their historical credibility. Fact or fiction. The dichotomy of fact versus fiction may not fully encompass the nature of biblical miracles. For believers, miracles are truths that transcend empirical verification. They are events that reveal God's nature, purpose, and love. The challenge lies in reconciling faith with reason, a task that requires openness to mystery and the recognition that not all truths are subject to scientific validation. In conclusion, the Bible's greatest miracles can be seen as both fact and profound spiritual truths. They are factual in the sense that they are deeply rooted in the faith and tradition of millions, and they are true in revealing God's interaction with humanity. Whether one views them as literal historical events or as profound allegories, their impact on faith and spirituality is undeniable.